Hello guys. Welcome back to Movie Recap. Today I will show you a thriller horror film. Make sure you like and subscribe. Spoilers ahead. Watch out and take care. The opening scene begins with a worried looking girl sitting in a car. With a tense face she tries to contact her friends Mark and Jenny but is unable to connect with them as both of the phone lines appear busy. She then leaves a message for Mark to pick up the phone. After that she starts driving while looking at her phone. Suddenly her car crashes into a truck stopped on the way. The following scene begins with a young woman Samantha leaving for college and informing her mother that she will return before 3:00 p.m. At college she receives a C- on her paper because the professor did not like her project, which included theories and statistics. Later she is seen working at a coffee shop where her customer requests peanuts, but she has her boss Naomi pack them because Samantha is allergic to peanuts. Soon after, her friend Mark arrives at the coffee shop and the two of them discuss the paper she received in college. Mark advises her to write in accordance with the professor's wishes in order to graduate. During their conversation Mark gets a call from his girlfriend and soon Samantha departs for home. As soon as she gets home she gets a call from Mark who invites her to hang out at Jenny's place. At first she refuses because it is already late, but after a bit of convincing she eventually accepts and goes. Jenny welcomes Samantha inside when she arrives at her house. There she discovers that Mark and his friend Victor are already present. Victor and Samantha greet each other and have a typical discussion. Jenny enters a room and all three of them follow her after a bit. Inside the room Jenny is linked to the cables via machine Victor took from the university. Jenny has her eyes closed and looks to be meditating. Samantha inquires whether she is sleeping, but Victor informs her that she is completely awake. Just then Mark begs Jenny to help Samantha since she seems bewildered. Hearing this, Jenny concentrates in her head and enters Samantha's body with the help of the machine, commanding her to write, "Hey Sam, it's me Jenny." When Samantha sees the document she is taken aback since she wrote it without realizing it. Samantha finds that the machine is accountable for everything. Mark informs Samantha that she can use this equipment to see, hear and feel things like other people do, and he encourages her to try it. Everyone pushes her to try it and she ultimately gets the wire connected around her skull. Desiree, a girl going to dine with her family, comes to her mind. She seems bewildered as she dives within her. However, Samantha unexpectedly regains consciousness when Desiree's parents inquire whether she is okay. While Mark is talking about the pros and cons of the act, Samantha wants to know about entering inside the opposite gender and experiencing the feeling. According to Mark, Victor and Jenny do it because they like it. Mark also warns her against going into individuals she knows since the result might be disastrous. Mark then hands her Jenny's apartment key and informs her that she is free to visit whenever she likes. Samantha attempts again, but this time she enters the body of a girl who is driving in, gets back immediately. Victor tells her not to venture too far from home since the distance is detrimental to her condition. One day Samantha is seen stalking Mark's social media profile when she is approached by a woman with red hair. Samantha doesn't recognize her, but the lady does, and she tells Samantha that she is a student in Samantha's class. The lady then asks Samantha to come to the 7 p.m. party that she is organizing. Confused, Samantha asks if she knows Jenny, but she walks away without replying. Later Samantha arrives home and her mother wants her to go watch a movie with her right away, but Samantha rejects her proposal since she has already made other plans. In the next scene, Samantha visits Jenny on a Friday night and meets Victor and Mark. They're all having a home party. With the help of the machine, they all connect to the cable and adjust to the bodies of those there at the actual party. Samantha accommodates the girl named Carly and everyone else in the room does the same, attending the party and having a great time. A few hours later Samantha regains consciousness and is fatigued. Slowly Mark awakens and informs Samantha that her mind needs rest because it is working overtime in this process. Everyone one by one returns to consciousness, exhausted and agitated. Samantha goes home after this and sees her mother weeping and sad. She asks her if everything is fine, but her mother tells her that they are low on milk. Samantha somehow calms her down one day. Jenny, Victor, Mark and Samantha go to a building and steal an envelope that Samantha has no idea about. Afterwards, Samantha goes to her job at the coffee shop and begins cleaning. Her boss Naomi arrives and discusses her work with her, realizing that she should give her a raise. Naomi feels like she is not appreciated Samantha for her hard work. Later, Samantha goes to Jenny's house and finds her playing the piano. When Samantha enters the room, she discovers Victor using the same machine, which fascinates her. The next day, Samantha attends her college lecture, and this time she gets an A because she writes according to the professor's request. That night, all four of them go outside in a car. Victor comes up with the idea of using the machine simultaneously. They all connect to the wires and begin to adapt to four unknown people of their gender who are cycling and roaming around the street. The boy Victor adapted to goes to threaten a stranger with a knife for money. Mark is dissatisfied with Victor's activity as he feels that the boys they are representing may go to jail and wishes to discontinue it. The boy Victor adapted to persuades them all to follow him to one of his friends Cody's house to have more fun. Samantha, as another girl, notices something is wrong and returns to consciousness as soon as they enter Cody's place. She doesn't find Mark in the car and attempts to call him but fails. The night passes as she sits back in the car and hooks into the machine. Next morning, Samantha goes to her college, but she is unable to concentrate on her studies while she is working on some projects. Mark calls her and invites her to hang out. She suggests meeting at Jenny's, but he declines, claiming that he is not at Jenny's. Rather, he asks her to come to Merweather, where he is dropped by his girlfriend Marissa. In the next scene, Samantha reaches Merweather and converses with Mark while sitting together. Samantha wonders why he chose her over his girlfriend Marissa. For all of this, Mark tells her that she is the best candidate for the job and that he does not want Marissa to know about any of this. Samantha asks if he trusts Victor because she believes he is dangerous. She further asks him about why he uses the machine despite having a girlfriend and not wanting money. He responds that it's sometimes good to get out of the head and figure out what makes us who we are. After their conversation, Marissa picks up her boyfriend Mark and Samantha drives herself back to her home. The following day, Samantha is unable to arrive at work, so her boss Naomi leaves her a message telling her not to worry about her shift and advising her to take a week off. She returns home after college and checks the refrigerator to see if there's anything to eat. She doesn't find anything and learns that her mother did not go to the store. Samantha becomes enraged with her mother's continuous negligence and decides to leave the house. Samantha's mother cries and tries to comfort her, but she does not listen and walks out. Soon Samantha calls Jenny and asks if she can stay at her place for a while. After Jenny agrees to let her stay, she goes to her house and uses the machine to adapt to her mother's body. Samantha watches as her mother walks out to the store and returns with some groceries. The next morning, Samantha wakes up late and misses her class. Jenny asks Samantha about the class and Samantha replies that she overslept and missed it. Later, they all decide to attend another random party while adapting to the bodies of other unknown people. After some time, Samantha quietly exits the party and turns to face Mark. She then adapts to Marissa's body and tries to figure her out. She also goes over Marissa's messages with Mark. A few moments later, when Samantha regains consciousness, she notices Victor breathing heavily. Jenny panics because she is unable to calm him down. Samantha hooks the wire and adopts the same party girl, Carly. She walks upstairs and notices that the body Victor adapted to is heavily bleeding. That boy's body dies soon after. When they all regain consciousness, Samantha questions Victor about what happened, but Victor storms out of the house looking angry at Samantha. The following day, Mark picks up his girlfriend Marissa and drives back home. Mark dials Samantha's number, but she does not answer. Mark appears concerned and Marissa inquires if everything is okay. Mark acts as if everything is fine and nothing has happened. Meanwhile, Samantha adapts to Marissa's body throughout their car ride. In the next scene, Samantha takes a seat in a park as Mark approaches. Mark learns that Samantha has quit her job. Samantha inquires as to why he walked away from the car that day, to which Mark responds that he had no choice. Mark leaves the scene after inviting her to meet him at Jenny's house tomorrow. On the other hand, Victor considers leaving everything behind. Right then, Mark arrives and inquires as to why he is leaving. Victor tells Mark that he understands how people feel when they are about to die because the body to which he adapted died during the process. Victor appears irritated and asks Mark a random question. He inquires about Samantha and the reasons for including her in this process. Victor advises Mark to stay away from all this, but Mark disagrees and tries to stop him. However, Victor ignores him and walks towards the boat. As he turns to face Mark, Mark stabs him in the stomach with a knife, telling him that he didn't like Victor in the first place and is relieved to see him die. Elsewhere, Jenny is seen agitated and waiting for Mark. As soon as he arrives at Jenny's, he tells her about Victor and they both walk to Samantha in the other room, where she is unconscious and hooked to the machine. Mark aims a pistol at her, but he is unable to pull the trigger. Jenny snatches the pistol from him and shoots Samantha in the head without wasting any time. Jenny then asks Mark if he wants some coffee, to which he agrees. Mark quickly grabs the pistol and shoots Jenny in the chest. Afterwards, he enters the restroom and tells himself that he doesn't want to die like this. He then returns and sits on the couch. In the last scene, Marissa is seen in the hospital suffering from multiple injuries sustained in the car accident shown in the first scene of the movie. Her father takes her home after she is released from the hospital. The doctor orders her to return to the hospital for a routine checkup. On her way out, she notices Samantha's mother at work inside the hospital. She checks her phone but finds no response from Mark. Marissa's condition improves as time passes. Her friend suggests to her that Mark wasn't the right person for her, and as time goes, she has to move on. She walks to the same coffee shop in which Samantha used to work, has a cup of coffee, and then jogs back home. Everything appears to be in order and the movie ends.